busy. Gonna give you the short story of the last few months. I own a handful of rental houses around Little Rock, and I had to evict 3 people last year. So I had to remodel those 3 houses. I'm down to 1 left that it needs the doorknobs redone. The tenant that was getting kicked out, they like to break doorknobs. It really needs all new cabinets. And I'm really hoping a tenant comes along and rents it before I put in new cabinets in the kitchen and the bathroom. Which would be a weeks long job. Taking the old kitchen apart, putting a new one back together. It's probably a couple thousand for the cabinets. And so I got that going on, and I was almost done. I got it cleared on the city permit. I got a permit to put in a new bedroom, and that cleared. So you get a clear permit, and now you're clear for, occupancy legally. Legally, it's a 3-bedroom. Got all that done, and I'm about to go. And I'm pretty sure off permit you're allowed to put in kitchen cabinets, fix doorknobs, stuff like that. Either way, I'm done with the permit people. Anytime they come out and look at anything, they find something else that's not even related to what you're doing that they also want done. So it's like they're like a punch list inspector coming out to give you an extra punch list. So I got signed off on that. And then it froze with that snowstorm came through. Everything was frozen. Couldn't do anything. And I got plumbing problems with that house. Same house. So I gotta go and redo plumbing. That's gonna take a day if I don't take out the cabinets. So I'm thinking to just drop the price on it, get somebody in there, pay low for the neighborhood. It's in Sherwood, so on one side the neighborhood's worth more, I should put more into it and get more for my rent. And on the other side, renters don't pay for things to look good. They pay the least they can for something that they'll live in, that's livable. So one side's telling me, put the money into it, just do it, put the time and the money into it. On the other side, I'm thinking, I'm gonna put the time and the money into it. And I've had houses where I put a ton of time and money into, and they just don't rent until you drop the price. People don't rent. When they go on the internet and they see a house in Jacksonville that's $800, and then they see a house in like a better neighborhood in Sherwood that's $1,200, where do they go? They go to the 800 house because it's cheaper. They don't care what it looks like. They don't care anything. And when they get in there, they have lots of stuff to complain about, and they're trying to get you out there fixing things while they live there. But it works like that either way, whether you put all the money and the time into it or not. So, without bulldozing the house and building a new house and selling it, which that's the other thing, is I was working on that one house, getting it ready, getting it done. The last of 3 houses, it takes about 3-6 months for me to finish a whole remodel. And when it started snowing out and I couldn't do anything, I went and tried to upgrade my license. And then I have videos taking that in a CSLA business law for contractors exam. That certification makes you a qualified person, which any commercial job you have to have a qualified person there for 30 hours where they're actually working and actually on the job. So I'm sure that there's been tons of construction companies that have a guy that's got that qualified person certificate and he's on that job, but he's not there. He's really just, he put his name down as the qualified person. He's somewhere else. Or maybe he's there, but he's not working. Picturing like a guy who's retired or double or triple retired and he's sitting there 80, 90, he's not even looking at anything, he's just sitting there with his certification, and they need somebody with a cert. But I'm going after that cert, studying for that test. That's what I've been doing in the snow. Now it's not snowing, so I'm working on that. Working on another thing, the house. I took a night shift at a factory making Remington ammunition. Just because I thought it was going to be a night shift, and then they give me a day shift. I'm about to just because I really needed the night shift, because if I'm working during the day doing my construction business, then at night and I've got nothing to do, I end up just spending money going out, and I'd rather have a night shift, and then I can get stuff done during the day, and I only have like this much work left to do, so then I'll be done, and as soon as I'm done with everything, I'm hoping to get a superintendent or a project manager or a foreman job that's traveling, pay for the travel kind of a job. I don't have to stay in Little Rock. Stopping me right now, I can't pack up and go now, like this moment, because I got a ticket and I gotta go to court over it. And if you get 5 tickets within 2 years, they suspend your driver's license for 3 months. And I thought it was 5 speeding tickets, so I haven't been speeding. I got 4 speeding tickets, and then they send me a thing and it says, if if you get 5 speeding tickets, they're going to take your driver's license away. So at 4, I was driving speed limit, and then I get pulled over again, and I don't even know what this guy was trying to charge me for, but he gives me a ticket, and the ticket has my name on it. He ran my license, but the charge and the car I was in were not what I was doing and not my car. So I'm thinking he gave me somebody else's ticket. He just put my name on it. And it doesn't make any sense. But we gotta go to court over it. At least try to argue that they shouldn't take my license away. And if I don't have a driver's license, I don't know what kind of job I'm going to be getting. Probably none. I'm probably going to be basically unable to work for the next 3 months because I have no driver's license. So I have to go fight that in a week. And I don't want to start any job between now and then, not knowing what's going to happen with that. But I'd like to hear back more about the job, expectations, what the schedules are like, because it says that it pays by the hour and not by a salary, which I like because I like a lot of overtime. And a guy that I was working for a while ago, he said, when you start going into getting hired on as a superintendent, work hourly, not salary. Because your salary can be $100,000, $150,000, $200,000, whatever. But since you're getting paid salary, you don't get any overtime. Or your overtime is minimum wage. So you end up working 100 or 150 hours a week. You're working 7 days. And you're always working. And they're just working you to death. But the guys that are working under you, and they're working less hours, and they're getting bigger checks because they're foremen or journeymen, and or even like apprentices getting all this overtime. And with all the overtime on 120, 150 hour weeks, their check is $3,600. Your check is still $2,000 because you're on a salary. So if there's a lot of overtime, I'm all for it. I'm all for the hourly with the overtime. I was wondering about where the travel is. I know nobody really knows exactly where they're going to be in a year in construction. Or in years. Maybe you got 1 year-long project, and then you got multiple things in the air after that. Nobody knows where the job is. But I was wondering where the travel is. I guess I get to find out when I start. But wondering about the travel, wondering about the hours. Those are things I'm wondering about. The Amazon warehouse remodel job we were talking about. You saw my resume, I know all of that. Took all those classes for foreman. Took the bachelor degree program classes at UALR, which I didn't get the bachelor's degree, but I went through the classes and you show up for a couple classes and you already know all of this stuff. That's how that went. But I didn't buy the degree. But I know this stuff. I can go on a construction site, read prints, read them to people that only speak Spanish, all that foreman stuff, layout, that's all cake. I'm not lost as far as mechanical plans. I could probably catch an electrician that wired something wrong, maybe. I mean, I couldn't pass an electrical exam, but there's definitely stuff that I know and stuff that I don't know. The line between where you're a foreman or you're a superintendent or a project manager. Do I have problems with taking process photos? No problems with that. Process photos, using a computer, using software. Got no problems with that kind of stuff. Scheduling, talking to subcontractors, no problems. I mean, not compared to anybody else. There's always issues. See a lot of issues with subcontractors, where somebody might not show up. It seems like on jobs I've been on, it seems like every subcontractor wants to tell you that everything's not perfect enough for them to come in. It's not finished enough to put a finish on. There's always issues, but I can talk to people. I can look at a plan, a calendar. Am I still learning? Sure. Everybody's always still learning. Can I do the work? Yeah, I'm 30s. Really at like physical prime age. So a lot of these superintendent jobs, they want you to know so much that the guys that know all that, been around for that long, can't do anything. And I'm out there. Some gets stuck, everything's handled. I'm not going to be sleeping in the trailer. I'm not going to be sitting on my phone talking to my girlfriend in the car, in the truck. Put myself out there and work. So, there you go.